there, Tammy Pickens from Armac Insurance and Jessica Stewart, our Vice President of Personal Line Sales. We thought we would come to you today and talk about flood insurance. So flood insurance has been quite the pain in you know what for a lot of people up here in the high desert. The flood zones that are up here are sometimes really expensive. And Jessica's going to talk to us about a market that we have that has really blown everybody away in the real estate market. So I don't know much about it, so I'm going to let Jessica chime in here.
Okay, so we came across this company who's offering flood insurance for incredible rates. I've been able to save people literally thousands of dollars just on their one flood insurance policy. It's a new company they're not a new company. They actually have been around for years, but they just weren't into the flood market. The reason that they weren't into the flood market is because the federal regulation on flood insurance required that flood insurance be purchased through a federal policy. Well, they've since changed those regulations, and they made it to where private flood insurance is acceptable by your mortgage company as long as it meets the same federal standards. Well, this new company does meet the same federal standards, and they are smashing rates across the board. It not just in the desert, in the mountains, in the desert, in the valleys, wherever you're at. If you're required to carry flood insurance, even if you're not required to carry flood insurance, give us a call for flood insurance quote right now. We're writing policies as low as $188 a year. The base premium is $188 a year. And some of these are in flood zones. These people are paying $2,000 and $3,000 a year for these policies, and we're getting them down to a couple $100s.
That's crazy. So even if they're in a designated flood zone, they're able to save that kind of money?
Absolutely. This new company doesn't use flood zones to figure out their rates. They stepped into the 21st century and they're using analytics. So it's based on your house's history of flooding and what your area does to prevent the flooding. And Wrightwood is a great example. They're constantly working on flood prevention. So in these areas, the rates are unbelievable.
Well, that's great. So I know in the past, flood elevation certificates used to help with your rate. Does that matter with this company?
This new company doesn't require any elevation certificates, so you're not going to have to pay out of pocket. You're not going to have to hire a land surveyor. If it's acceptable, we'll know in about 2 minutes, and the rate so far has beaten every other flood insurance carrier out there.
Wow, that's great. And have you had any lenders have any issues with accepting the policy?
Actually, I have, but because there's a federal regulation behind it, the lenders that are slow to step into the new regulation will sometimes send me a message saying that it might not be an acceptable policy, but all I do is send them a copy of the new regulations and get them up to speed on what's going on in the flood insurance industry, and I haven't had anyone not accept it. It's been taken by all different mortgages, different escrow companies.
Oh, that's great.
It might take an extra piece of paper being sent to them to get it to be satisfied, but they've all been satisfied.
So I think it's just a matter of education. So if you're a lender and you'd like us to come in and talk to your agents, we're happy to do that. I know that we've had a lot up here kind of say this can't be real. This pricing is just not, it just can't be valid. And we actually thought that in the beginning too. We submitted a couple of pieces of business and crossed our fingers to make sure that there wasn't going to be any increases. And it's been a really successful relationship with this company. Like I said, Jessica's kind of our flood expert, and we're writing a ton of business in the mountains. So if you are in the mountains and need assistance there, give us a call. We'll be happy to help you. And if you want your current flood policy reviewed, you can send it in. We do have a general email box for that, which you can just send it to info@isu-armac.com, or you can give our office a call at 760-241-7900. And I've got about 7 gals in our personal lines department that can help you. But if you want the resident expert, you can ask for Jessica. Okay? So thanks for listening and watching, and we'll talk to you soon.